Whew, good morning or afternoon where I am at. God, the filters are horrible on here. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. YouTube needs to step it up. This is, what year are we in YouTube? Okay, this is decent enough. We'll go with this. What I have to do when I come on here, when I come on live, it's really important. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm not doing it out of an ego trip. I'm doing it because of how necessary it is. And I know how necessary it is because I was the one who needed it at one point. I was the one who was coming online looking for resources, looking for help, trying to figure out what I was going through. There was no help and no help would come. But thankfully, God had made it possible that people who had already gone through what I had gone through came and shared information. And not just any type of information, not just trivial information, but information that would help me and help guide me through the process. Nobody came and said, hey, this is what they're doing. You might want to do this, that, and the third. Hey, you might want to, don't go here and don't talk to people and don't do anything and blah, blah, blah. Nobody in real time came to help me figure it out. And so I was truly on my own. And in the beginning, it was a very shocking situation, but I acclimatized very quickly. And because of the resources online, clarity is important in a lot of situations. So because of the resources online, not only did I find out what I was going through, but I found out why and like why it was happening to me and why it was happening at that particular time. And this kind of insight is, you need it. You need it. So when I come online, and I'm very passionate about coming online. When people in general come online, they go through a lot to have to give these messages. And that is something that maybe perhaps people don't know. Like, there are readers, the good ones, the ones that actually give fundamental information. They're attacked, and they are attacked constantly spiritually. Spiritual attack is not fun. It's not. That's why I keep talking about the crystals. That's why I keep talking about the sage. That's why I keep talking about the healing. That's why I keep talking about clearing of the energy, because it's not fun. And let me tell you, you might not take the healing seriously. You might not take the crystal seriously. You might say, well, I don't believe in that. And then you get caught up at 3 a.m. by yourself. 3 o'clock in the morning, here you are, getting your ass bust spiritually. You don't know how to fight back. And you're by yourself. No materials, no crystals, no sage, no nothing. This is why I give the information. This is why I say what I say. This is why I ask people to be in preparation of these attacks coming. Be in preparation for what's going on. Keep spiritual hygiene so that you don't have to get ready. You're already ready. So that when the attacks come to you, you're already shielded and you're already cloaked. Stay prayed up so that God is in the vicinity with you. They hide out in my bathroom. Coming in my bedroom is risky because I am never alone. Coming around my children is risky because we are never alone. People gotta sneak in and maybe try to do something sneaky here or there, and they never know the day, the hour, or the minute they're gonna get spiritually tapped down, spiritually tackled, spiritually taken down. Let me tell you something about spirit that a lot of people do not believe in, the same spirits that people don't want to believe in. God doesn't always have to put up with you attacking her children. She will actually put physical hands on you. Like, you're actually gonna get hands and feet physically put on you. You ever see somebody drag down a staircase, and there's nothing there? Be careful. The same way they can astral project, we're talking about spirit world now. Now, on this particular channel, I am no longer here and no longer interested in people who are talking about I don't believe. If you don't believe, get out of here. This is not for you. This is not for you. If you still have to question if you believe, you got to go somewhere else where you guys do something else. This is not for you. Blah, 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 blah. This right here is for people who know that they're under attack. These people are pesky and they're persistent. Now, I want to talk about something. You know, I might as well use this card. I might as well use this card. I want to talk, before I get into the bulk of what I'm getting into on this live, because this is a special live to me. I want to talk about, I'm going to use symbolism of tarot. And I'm going to talk about, actually, no, this is not a good card. I'm going to talk about, because somebody asked about the difference between, they wanted to understand what I meant by a karmic baby. So I'm going to talk about what is meant by a karmic versus somebody in the upright, or a divine being, a divine person. If you're described as divine, it is because you are ordained by God. You are special to God, and you live in some particular purpose that God has. I've talked about nodes before. In the zodiac, nodes are the best way to, it's almost like, I can get a proper definition because I don't have a definition, but you can think of it almost like your direction in life, where you're going. Your north node is where you should be going. Your south node is where you're coming from. So whatever is in your south node, these are lessons that you've picked up from past lifetimes, but you don't come in here to repeat a lifetime. At least you don't want to. I don't think anybody truly wants to repeat old cycles and old lessons. So when you're in your north node, you're facing upward. Let me go ahead and find this card. There's a specific card that I want. When you're in a particular cycle in life, for example, prior to all of this, where my spirituality was something that I kept to myself and I was growing and learning and all of that, I was still engaging with certain people, talking to certain people, engaging in certain things. I was in my south node. You know, that phase of my life could be described as a more social part of my life, even though I can't describe myself as a fully social person, but that was a more social part of my life. I was in my south node. I was not in service of God. Whatever I was selling, whatever I was producing was not in service of the Most High. I was not a representation of the Most High. As a matter of fact, I was the opposite, and it was getting worse by the day until I figured out this is not the kind of clientele that I want. This is not the messaging that I want to give out, and this doesn't match who I truly am. So I entered into my north node, and part of my north node is giving these messages, sharing back my experiences and my knowledge with people, because that is really, really, really essential. Because there are people out there that are going through things that I've already gone through, so I share how I've gone through them. Now, to explain divine versus karmic, I'm going to use the Queen of Swords, okay? Let me read the Queen of Swords card online. Sometimes I am at a loss of words, so let me Google it, just so that I can give I know instinctively what it means, but the Queen of Swords is a symbol of intellect, wisdom, and clear thinking. She rules with a sharp mind and assertiveness. The Queen of Swords is a captivating card. And the Suit of Swords, that's not the part that I want. Let me pull up something that will show a more concise meaning. da-da-dum, 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 da-da-dum. Okay, here we go. This is good stuff right here. Let me just make this page smaller so that I can read it. Okay, so the Queen of Swords upright, independent, doesn't need approval, is to the point, doesn't hide her feelings, isn't easily fooled. In the negative, it's a card of loneliness, is cruel for no reason, likes to hurt others, meddles, is infertile, divorced, or widowed. And infertility does not necessarily mean pregnant, feminine pregnancy, or you can't produce a baby. It means you can't produce life in any way. You can't build anything. You can't build a business. You can't build friendships. You can't build relationships. You are infertile. You are dead. What would be your uterus, your center of creation, is a cemetery. Things go there to die. People come around you to wither, to lose. This is the Queen of Swords in reverse. So this is her upright. Upright, she's independent. She doesn't need approval. She's to the point. She doesn't hide her feelings, and she isn't easily fooled. But in the reverse, you know, she's lonely. She is cruel for no reason. She likes to hurt others. She meddles, and she's infertile. When I talk about something being karmic, I simply mean something is in the reverse. It's in the upside down. And so it's in a challenge positions like this. Sorry, it's upside down. It's the opposite of what it should be. Okay. I'm a lot more than just this, but this is the Queen of Swords. Now, when I see the Queen of Swords, I just think about cutting people off. I cut people's situations, mindsets, whatever it is, I cut it off very easily. I've learned that lesson, to put aside things that are not for me and things that are not for my betterment and things that are not healthy for me so that I can grow. Everybody in this situation, and I mean my personal gang stalking situation, knows exactly what they're doing that's not right for them. But they continue to put themselves in these situations, and they know, you know what, I've come far enough with the situation that in order for me to climb out of the situation, it's going to take a bit. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a fight. That's no matter who is in the situation. It's going to take a fight. It's difficult because you have come so far with your situation that you're in the reverse of where you should be. Now, currently, I'm in a situation where I stand 10 toes down, both feet solidly planted to the ground, and whatever comes has to come. It is what it is, because we are not staying here. And that's what it is. So I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm in the upright. But imagine if I were in the reverse. Imagine if I were the opposite of what I'm doing right now. And I meet a man who's in the opposite of what he's supposed to be doing right now. We are both in a karmic position. We have children together. That's a karmic baby. If I have attachments, spiritual attachments to me as a woman and I'm pregnant, what do you think is being produced? That just is what it is. We don't mince words anymore. We're done. You are too deep in your journey to be in La La Land. It's the fairy tales. We're past the point of the fairy tales. Just because of the age of a child, you think that you're raising children in this manner and you think that they are not karmic children, but the children are karmic as well. They're being produced from a karmic place. You have a business. You have positive intention for your business. You're not purposely doing anything wrong. But guess what happens? Your business is in service of the wrong thing. And God says, I know how long you've worked on this business. I know you had no negative intention when you put it together, but the business wasn't built on solid ground. And the business, it's a karmic business. So guess what? It has to go. When God sent the flood, God didn't say, well, I'm going to send the flood, but take all the babies out. Take the babies out and put them on the side. God didn't go to Egypt and say, you hurt my people and you're in violation. But take the Egyptian babies aside and let's just put them aside and let's just take care of everybody else. Grow up, okay? Part of spirituality is opening your eyes real wide. This is the real, real, real world, not the world you were in before. We are no longer in Kansas anymore. The old you needs to die, and it needs to die fast. Because these people capitalize on this ignorance. Ignorance is a lack of proper information. That's why people like me come on here to say what we say and do what we do. When people raise children to gang stalk, I've been gang stalked by children before. They use children because they figure, well, it's just a child. They didn't send this child here to intimidate me. They didn't send this child here to make me feel. And I'm like, this is a kid. Somebody took their kid to involve. That's something that a lot of gang stalkers have talked about, or gang stalking victims have talked about is, are they really using children? Yes. So that the second generation of gang stalkers comes in worse than the first. Because these people have no respect. So they raise these kids with this attitude. And from a young age, these kids are participating in gang stalking. So these kids are looking around and they're like, wait a minute. This is okay. Not only is this okay, this is how we make money. They are more cruel. They are more heartless. This is why these people are barren. They got to go to IVF and they got to go to all these other different ways to have children. Because we don't want this to continue breeding new life. So you know how it goes. If you're gonna get rid of weeds and you just mow the lawn, you just get rid of weeds and they pop back up, right? You gotta get it from the root. Don't be offended. Actually, do what you want. I'm not gonna tell anybody what to do. But the reality is, these are karmic babies. These are karmic children, and it is what it is. So, one more thing I do want to address before I move forward. So let me tell you guys a little story. Yesterday, I had a live, and my live was just talking about how to move on from a situation, from the gang stalking thing. But before that happened, before I went live, I was watching a video, and this girl, I know she's being attacked. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure some of her attacks are coming from my side because she gives very valuable information. So she was saying something about, somebody wants to make things better with you. Now, this right here, this is the High Priestess. Direct connection to God. The High Priestess, I'm going to read it to you guys, what the High Priestess is. So I don't want to use my words because one time one of the readers said, oh, hold on. Let me use the words from the internet. The High Priestess is a card of mystery, stillness, and passivity. This card suggests that it is time to retreat and reflect upon the situation and trust your inner instincts to guide you through it. Things are not what they appear to be right now. The modern interpretation of the High Priestess represents the unknown, mystery, intuition, spiritual knowledge, and the subconscious mind. She is an esoteric figure, unlike the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the card that accompanies the High Priestess. So for a Queen of Swords, there's a King of Swords. For a King of Wands, there's a Queen of Wands. But when it comes to the High Priestess, there's no High Priest. There's a Hierophant. Reverse, the High Priestess can be interpretive as secrecy and disconnection from your intuition. Now, as a figure, I want to talk about the High Priestess is the guardian of your intuition. But this is how I take the High Priestess card, to be honest with you. I take the High Priestess card as a feminine figure who is tapped in directly to divine insight, who communicates directly to the Most High. That's how I take the High Priestess. So let me just see what this is in the upright. Yeah, it all gives kind of the same thing, but cards like that I take kind of as a figure, as like a person, if you will. And for me, I identify as the high priestess. I am absolutely, I don't need the tarot cards. I don't need the readings of others since I've ascended. When I first started, it was, God was already showing me what needed to be seen. I was already getting downloads. I was already, listen, when God needs you to know something and be somewhere on time, and when I say on time, I mean I don't mean on time like I gotta be somewhere at 9 o'clock. I mean, if you need to be ascended by this particular date, you're gonna ascend because it is written. It doesn't matter. God will get you there. It doesn't matter. So when I'm sitting here and, you know, you hear someone say something, it's a confirmation. When you hear someone say something that is the opposite of what you've already received as a download, you already know what to do with that person and their information. It's not difficult. The high priestess didn't need to know that people want to reconcile with her. What else are they going to do? That's their only other option. What are the options there? They're going to continue trying to do what they can do, but of course they want to reconcile. They've been trying. People don't, it's like every time you say something, people don't respect the boundaries. That's a tyrant. That's a narcissist. You say you're not responding to nobody, and they make these fake pages come here every time. Every time you're on live, you know that fake page is going to get up. It's just like when I used to go on live on Instagram. The same people here every time. What is the likelihood that the same people are online all the time? Same people to catch you all the time. Pressuring. Hello, hello, hello. How many times are you going to get ignored before you get the message? But it doesn't matter if you get the message or not. You know, don't feel bad. Continue doing what you do. But it's like just because you don't address something verbatim with them, I don't know if there's this confusion, like maybe you don't know. And the high priestess does not reveal everything that she knows. You know, people just get to move accordingly. And people are very lucky that I get to come on here and talk so they could even hear my voice and see my face. Otherwise, they have to try to struggle to get into my energy because they're blocked. Because the marriage, the contract, it's done. That contract is done. The lessons were learned. The training was received. You've ascended. You're in your north node. All a person could do is bang out the door. So anyway, people get in their feelings and they get beside themselves. Now, in a situation, you're going to have a karmic twin flame. A twin flame is a mirror to yourself. They embody the same traits that you have. You have a twin flame in the upright, and then you have one in the reverse. These are people that embody the same traits as you. In your upright position, in your light side, you have those traits in you. So whatever it is, however you are, in your shadow side, you have their traits in you. You could be them if you stepped into your shadow side. You could be narcissistic. I'm going to talk about me. I like to be very clear. I could be a narcissist easily. That's why I trigger this person so much. I could do what they do easily. It's natural. It's not, I don't have to study it. I don't have to try. I choose to be in the upright because that is where I want to be. Nothing can pull me into that side of me because I've already, you know, you start there. That's where you start. Life, as circumstances hit you in life, you respond in that way. It's the natural way of being. And then you have to heal from those things. You have to grow. And so you grow into your uprightness. You grow into that side of you. You grow into the side of you that sees the best in people, that nurtures people, that isn't threatened by people, that assists people, that loves people. You grow into that. But the shadow is always there. And contrary to what people believe, you're not going to be 100% just light. You need the shadow as well. But how you present, how you go into the world is the side of you that is dominant. It's the side of you that you choose to lead. There's this saying that says, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's essentially saying that a person can either be a wolf oh, I don't know the saying, but let me try to butcher it anyways. It's like you can be bad or good, but who you are is simply dependent on which one you feed. So if you feed the light side of you, that's the dominant side. That's what's going to take over. If you feed the dark side of you, that's what's going to take over. So when you're in a situation with your karmic twin flame or with a person who reflects that side of you, you're seeing traits that you know and understand. And of all the people in the world to be sent to attack you, when they send your twin flame, you're like, I know this. I know this person. I know this very well. A karmic bullying you, it's like if they had sent something that maybe you didn't understand, maybe it would have been a little bit like, okay, let me learn this. But it's like, I've been there. I know how it works. So when people come at me, they make shit worse. I was talking about the fluffy stuff before. How you heal, how you pray, because people need that. But now I thought, nah. Let's go into some messages that's really going to trigger somebody. I'm going to be putting out some material that's going to make people want to put on the O.J. Simpson gloves and a ski mask. For sure. For sure. Because that's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you do. Because that's where they want to get you to. But they're not going to get you there. I'm talking about me. You're not going to get me there in the way that you think. Every time somebody bothers me, what do? I go inside of me and I'm like, all right, they want to go there today. Let's go. Let's go. People want to fight. But I realize I don't and in what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to explain what I'm saying. That's why I'm starting the conversation like this. You don't have to fight with people the way that they want to fight. They want to sling mud and they want to do... No, you don't have to do all that. It's easy to defeat these kinds of people. It's easy. And I'll tell you how. So today, the title of this video is going to be how to serve people their karma by just being yourself. How to end your gang stalking. And this is the foundational video that is going to assist people to come out of this cycle. I'm going to give you step by step. It's a 10-step. Let's call it a 10-step program. Why don't we? So it's 10 steps and it does two things. It gets you out of the gang stalking and it puts people in a very uncomfortable situation. 10 steps. So let's go. Let's explain what's happening here with gang stalking and with you. First things first, gang stalker is paid. A lot of money. This money is distributed. Oh, wait, where did Persephone Rising go? Where did everybody go? People should be here to get the information. Why they take them out? They should be here to get the information. People need to understand what they're involved in. So anyways, let me explain it. Now, when I do this, I'm also going to link back to all the information that I've given before so you can see where it connects and how it dissects. 10 steps. First step, the gang stalker is paid. A benefactor, a person who wants to see you suffer before they get you out of here, they pay somebody who then disperses this income amongst a group of people, gang stalkers. So one person is managing the file. I've explained this process already. They give information, they research you first, they dig around your social networks, they find out your likes, your dislikes, your triggers, your past traumas, important people in your life, and then they have to start infiltrating your network. In order to do so, they can't do it alone. This person is usually behind the shadows. This person doesn't usually come forth, but a lot of times they do. This person is in charge, the chief handler, we call them, because they like to put people to handle people in your life. These are people they put in place to kind of control the thoughts people have about you. Sounds pretty effective. So as they come into this situation, I don't know who does the budgeting or how this is done. I don't know who the accountants are. But they essentially put people in a situation where, you know, there's some profit left over for them and themselves, and then they're paying people. They gotta pay people to follow you everywhere you go. They gotta pay randoms to come and talk to you and be your friend. They gotta pay the handlers. They gotta pay everybody down the chain of command. So they're paying people in the network. So the money is being dispersed. There's also some money for them. Now, when this payday comes in, it's a beautiful time. Believe you me. People are partying, they're buying new houses, they're buying new cars, they're getting in relationships. It's a prosperous period. A new client has come. I've thought about it. There has to be a little bit of balance between how much are we gonna spend on getting this job done and how much are we gonna keep for profit? And in order to do so, how long is it ideal to gang stalk this person? Meaning, how long do I have ideally based on whatever I've negotiated to get the job done? How long is it gonna take to get this person homeless and on their face with no friends and having lost everything? Is it gonna be 3 months? Is it gonna be 6 months? Oh, he's in my energy now. He's gonna have to stay here for a little bit because we're getting through the whole video, baby. He's in the right place too, at the right time. How long is it gonna take? How long is it going to take to get this job done? If it's 3 months that it's supposed to take to get this job done, then that means every second after the 3rd month that it goes, they're eating into profit. If it's 6 months that we're at on a 3-month job, that means we've really eaten the bulk of the profit. When we get to 9 months in this job, I'm at a deficit. I might owe at this point. When we get to a year on a 3-month job, I'm in the hole. I have no profit. I might, depending on who it is that wants this job done, I might have to go get a loan to get this job done. Now, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they pay a portion up front and then there's a back end that needs to come in. I don't know if they give all up front. I don't know if they work on credit and then they have to wait to get paid. But either way, it works out to the same thing. There's a certain amount of money that is meant to get the job done. And then there's the profit over top. It's just like you getting a renovation job done. The job costs this much in materials and the rest is going to be my labor. In my labor, I'm going to factor in things like marketing costs. I'm going to factor in things like the cost of my truck, insurance, my tools that I have to buy, all kinds of things. But this is how it breaks down. It's simple math. Even in business, no matter how big the business is, no matter how huge the corporation, if you complicate the math too much, it's because there's fraud in it. There's tricks in it. It comes down to simple math. The cost of labor, cost of materials, and you can include a bunch of stuff in cost of labor. That's why they try to get it a lot more complicated than it is. The cost of the labor, the cost of materials equals the cost of the job. End of story. Gang stalking is no different because this is a business. So typically what happens is, let's say the chief gang stalker is responsible. It's a responsible individual. Do you know what they do? They say, okay, we make them suffer for 2 months and in the last month we need to start getting serious. We need to get this person out of here completely. Okay, we need to get the job done. This is how it's gonna get done. So they're already eating on the profits. Why? Because you're not the first go at the rodeo. You don't get to be a chief gang stalker by not knowing what you're doing, right? So they take it for a joke. And whatever, this is going to get done. Now, see, a lot of people, they ask people, what do I look like? I can't ask people, what do I look like? Because I look like a baby. I look easy. I look easy to manipulate, easy to bully, and all of that. I get it. I get it. I get why people do that. So I can't wrong anyone if they look at me and they say, if this is a 3-month job, we're probably going to get it done in a month. She's going to be crying. She's going to be back here begging, blah, 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 right? God strategically put me in that energy that I was in. Because if they came and found me in a normal energy, they would have budgeted more time and more money. If they had gotten me prior to my last relationship, they would have had the opportunity to plan better. So God was like, the real chief handler of all of us, she was like, nah, we're not gonna do it like that. We're gonna do it my way. It's not gonna get done. So when they came to assess me, who I am and how easy I'm gonna be to influence and all of that, what they found was somebody with low boundaries and somebody who's in a very loving energy, who speaks in a very loving voice, very loving person. So they're like, yeah, whatever, we'll get this done. It's not that deep. So they started spending the money, having a ball, buying houses, buying cars, getting married, living good. No need to innovate when the income is steady. All we got to do is follow this one person around, harass them, have them running around like a chicken, and we call it a day. But what happened in my situation, what's going to happen in your situation watching this video, is you're taking long to suffer. And you're being silent about the suffering if there is any. You go to work every day. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're chilling. Nobody really knows if you're suffering or not. When they come around to assess you, you're calm. When they come around, you're not breathing heavy. You're not panicking. You're not spiraling out of control. You're in a very calm state. A little bit confused about what these people are doing here, but you're relaxing and nothing is falling. Nothing is falling out of your hands. Why? Because of the Most High God. Nothing is coming out of your hands. You're chilling. So now what's the next step? What's the next step after that one? The gang stalkers are panicking and losing confidence. Like, what's going on? They got to work harder now. They need to prove their work. They need to prove their work to who is paying them. They start being monitored. Who is paying them? The benefactor starts sending independent eyes to check in on you. Independent people to come into your space to talk to you, to check your temperature. Because they want to know, how comes it's not working? Are these people actually working? Are you being bothered? And you're not even complaining. You're just chilling. You're just relaxing. You're having a good day. You know, now in my situation, they thought that they had isolated me because I'm a person who takes time to myself. I was healing from a breakup. A lot was going on personally. So it did give the indication. There were things that gave the indication that it worked. The business is done. It's canceled. People hate this person, etc., 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 etc. But really, they knew people didn't hate me. They knew that the lies weren't working. People didn't believe it. They had to bully people to do this job. Because people in my community, they know who I am. People didn't want to get involved, and you could see it from very early on. People didn't want to get involved. Now, on top of them working harder to prove what they're doing, you're getting better at life. You're getting better at life. Let me explain to you in my situation what I mean by getting better at life. I get a gym membership. I start working out. Body is getting toned and in shape. They start freaking out because they're trying to keep me from my ex. So it's like I was fat and chubby and they thought that's who I was because that's how they met me. And then they saw the body come out and they were like, whoa, we got to do something quick because if this man sees this girl looking like this, it's going to be a problem. So they ran and made his ex get surgery. And from what I hear from the readers, that didn't go too well. Surgery don't look too good, doesn't look too natural. That's what they said. They said it looks funny. I don't know. I don't know. However, on top of getting better at life, the business image is improving, the marketing is improving, the locations get better and better. It's hard to hold a good woman down. Now it's really looking crazy. I'm getting better at life. I'm happier. I'm more rested. Everything that they do puts me in a better and better situation. They lighten my load. They lighten the load on my hands. They lessen my bills. They help me clear my debts. These people have me on their altars as they pray. The goddess. That's what it is. Who do you put on your altar? I don't care what type of altar it is. You're praying to something on your altar. You're donating energy. And I am grateful for the energy that I have been provided by the people praying on my downfall. I am grateful for this energy. I know you guys are weak right now. I know you guys are tired. I know you guys have lost hope and you're demotivated. I know your energy levels are low. I wouldn't have personally come and taken energy from you, but I'm happy that you donated it, because it sure helped me in my journey. I thank you. This has been a tough cycle for all of us. So as you're getting better at life, and it seems like the gang stalking is having the opposite effect on you, your benefactor is disgruntled, is upset every day. More and more upset at the fact that, you know, they're beginning to suspect that they've wasted their money. They're beginning to question the motives of these gang stalkers. They're beginning to wonder if people are helping you. They're beginning to wonder if they're being taken for a fool or for a ride. The reality is, the chief gang stalker has fallen in love with me and he's fighting it. It's a love-hate relationship. He wishes he could have made a different turn in life. He wishes he could have aligned with me. He wishes he didn't ghost me. He wishes things had worked out differently. You know, I could give you tons of examples, but that's not what this is about. He's mad at the fact that he feels this way as well. He's mad at the fact that he can't take me out. And when somebody says that there's something and they say that they're a god and people buy into it, and you come here just existing on your own, being yourself, you prove to somebody that they're a liar just by existing. Because if you said A, how comes B? If you said her God is not real, well, how come she's still here? If you said we're supposed to wear the bracelets on this hand, how come she wears them on that hand and she's still okay? If you said Sage is no good, how comes that's how she's keeping you out? So now everybody's secretly watching me. The views are never gonna go away. Even if they disable this channel, there are people who need to know what I know. The views are always gonna be good, period. There might not be likes and there might not be comments, but there's gonna be consumption of the content. Whether that is people that are against me, people that need to know what I know, or people that need help. That's how God guarantees your success. So think about that. When God says this is the way it should go, success is guaranteed. So your benefactor is disgruntled and pissed off. This now creates a debt situation. A situation of debt for the chief gang stalker. Now, in my situation, we're talking about the cartel. Just by me continuing to stand, it gives people hope. This is really smoky. This is burning a lot. Just by me continuing to stand, it gives people hope. It gives people hope that perhaps they can stand too. Perhaps they don't have to go through this bullying. Perhaps they don't have to listen. And what happens? It's twofold. Not only are they in debt, but now they lose their platforms, their control, and their influence. Now people don't have to take these calls because people know, you know what? If this person comes in my energy, I'm smoking out this house. I'm salting up this house. I'm buying a bunch of crystals and I'm praying. Maybe I was praying to the wrong thing. Wait, let's compare notes. Did he say this to you? Did he do this to you? Did this happen after he said this? Do you have problems sleeping? All our symptoms are the same. All our symptoms are the same. So if I'm a liar, how comes I know all of these stuff? How comes I'm going through all of these things? The situation is like the goose is already cooked. It's already cooked. That's why I can come on here and I can speak with authority about this. Because I've been through it, endured it, overcame it, and graduated it. So now the chief gang stalker is in a debt position. And I don't think these people really want money back. Although I'm sure if it boiled down to it, they take the money back. But these people don't have money to pay these people back. They want the results that they asked for. Because by you not being able to produce the results that you promised, you made this public. You made the public aware of what you were doing. Everybody knows now that you couldn't do it. Had you been silent, people wouldn't have known. Maybe perhaps they could have walked away as long as I didn't say anything. But it's public. There is an image to uphold and a system to enforce. And now it's a little more difficult. I'm being facetious, by the way. It's a little more difficult to uphold this system. So now, and you can see on my little chart that I wrote here, on this part where I said gang stalker is paid, I crossed it out and it says gang stalker is lose. Gang stalker is lose money. People are in a lose position. They've lost way more than money. They've lost a business. They've lost a platform. They've lost respect. They've lost their spiritual gifts that were stolen to begin with. A lot of which were stolen to begin with. They've lost their dignity. They've lost their pride. The only thing that they're struggling to lose is weight. Ain't that crazy? Leave those cheese blocks alone, you rat. That's the only thing that they're struggling for. Now, could you believe I would have came on here and I would have talked about the healing power of prayer. But somebody wants to go on a spell work bender. Now you got to go on a spell work bender that I've done this. This motivates me to do the job the way that I should have been doing the job. Now, not to say the healing stuff was great and the prayer stuff was great. That's why God let me say it, because people needed to hear that information as well. But this information, this is the cornerstone. You know, a situation that keeps getting worse and worse every day, that's what we're in. The song that never ends, because it goes on and on, my friend. Bullying has the opposite effect on me. It powers me up. It powers me up. I love it. There's something about me that likes to eat spell work. I don't know what it is. Every time I get a different kind of spell work coming at me, I learn it, I absorb it, I get immune to it. I almost know how to do it. I don't care if people leave me alone. This is the way that it's supposed to be. Now, I'm going to add in 2 more points before I leave it. On top of the gang stalker being in a debt position, there's a point here, and I've explained it in the past, and my gang stalking survival guide is there as well, where you start exposing everyone in the community, not just the chief gang stalker, everybody in the community needs their name mentioned. People need to see what's going on here. In this cycle, you've been making police reports, but you've also been documenting. Non-digital documentation. You've been making documents. You've been assessing. You've been strategically doing things to leave paper trails, to leave frequencies of how often you had to do certain things and how things had to happen. So this is no longer hearsay. In this process that's been going on here. So on top of people having to figure out how to pay for something after all that work, you can't go back to these gang stalkers and be like, give me money for following the people. No. On top of everything that they did, now you start exposing people. Now your documentation is here. You don't need to remember what date somebody said something and when they came to your house and what they said and the name of the police officers and all of that. You have all that. The police are involved with good documentation. Now you have someone cornered on multiple sides. Remember, I've always advocated staying close to God during this process. God takes gang stalking extremely personally. This is a personal thing. Gang stalking is nothing new. This is personal. And God personally has a problem with it. That's why God has come to personally guide the situation. That is why you see so many tarot readers talking about gang stalking. That is why. In this process, tarot readers have lost their eyes. You think I don't know what... Imagine how that feels to wake up and shuffle cards and nothing comes out, or the messages coming out make no sense. I've seen readers literally take the cards and flip them back in the reverse position because the reading that they're putting down makes no sense. Like they're still like, but why did it come out like that? Spirit, can you clarify what spirit? They're tapped out of the 5D. They're tapped out of the spirit world. They can no longer access spirit. People who used to have gifts to read energy, to astral project, to do certain things, are struggling with getting things done. They're casting work and the work's not getting done. Things are backfiring. It's a bad situation. And if you've built a business and a platform and you are literally, you have to flip cards in your, why would you even upload that? You got to flip the cards. They have to manipulate the readings because they're seeing the rest of the tarot community is reading all one thing, and their readings are wildly different, and it doesn't make sense according to whatever everybody else is saying. So they got to come up with something that at least a little bit matches, at least is a little bit the same, because the cards coming out don't make sense. There's a difference between flipping an Uno deck, a deck of playing cards, and a tarot deck. You're not flipping a deck of cards for cards to fly out when you're shuffling. So imagine shuffling your tarot deck and nothing comes out, as if you're shuffling an Uno deck. It's crazy. And I've seen it. And I've seen the fall of a lot of people. And people only see things from certain perspectives. They do not see things in the way that they're supposed to be seeing it because they're in the reverse position. So if you are going to embark on watching tarot, please use your intuition. Be wary of them. You're going to know who the real from the fake very easily. So I'm going to reiterate my 10-point process for bringing karma to the gang stalkers and exiting and closing the cycle. Step 1, gang stalkers are paid. Step 2, they live an unsustainable lifestyle. Step 3, you take way too long to suffer, die, or fall apart, and you're silent. Step 4, silent about your suffering, that is. Step 4, gang stalkers are panicking, trying to prove their work. Step 5, you're getting better at life and happier. You're healing. This is your healing phase in step 5. Step 6, disgruntled benefactors. The benefactors who paid them are disgruntled. Step 7, the gang stalkers are at a point now because of time, money, and discontent. They're in a debt position. Step 8, you start exposing people in the community with your documentation. You need good documentation. Step 9, you need to start going to the police. Going to the police while you're in the cycle is not gonna work. You gotta wait till people lose influence, lose money for bribes, lose power positions. Then that's when you go to the police. Dirty cops, they know. It's like prostitutes. Pay for play. Nothing's for free. They'll turn around and arrest you after 20 years of you guys working together. And what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Especially if you lose your job and you lose that position of immunity that you used to have, you see. When the rest of your community is operating outside of you because they no longer trust you. They don't believe you and they've lost confidence in you to be able to do what you said you were going to do. They don't even tell you anything. They just move around. They just do what they do. So now what was one is operating separately. It's a tough situation to be in. As a matter of fact, you're being hunted. They want to find you. They need to find you. You wasted a lot of time, money, resources, impulsive, impatient, arrogant action. Narcissist. So then you get to 10, cornered by God, police, and benefactors. And in my situation, someone has a very aggressive energy riding on their back. If none of these energies could get to them, the energy on their back needs to be paid. When you can't get the energy that this energy wants, it needs something. It's going to suck down on you and your life force. And that's how it's going to go. So, this is my 10-step program. A lot of information is going to follow that is going to fill in the gaps and put things in place. And the diagram is going to be available on the community portion of the channel. Thank you guys. I'm happy to get yes, it's under an hour. I'm happy to get this live done early so I don't have to come in late and get it done at the end of the day when I have other things that I prefer to be doing. Have a great day. You guys can put questions, comments in the comment box or in the comment section under the video. People have questions. I'm okay to make videos and answer them. Have a lovely day, guys.